Hello there. So, why am I putting a video together? Well, to get straight to the point, earlier this year I was diagnosed with a condition called relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis. If you don't know what that is, it's a autoimmune disease that attacks both your nerves in your brain and spine, can leave people with debilitating disabilities. It's the reality of it. Why do I bring this up? Well, for one, it's thank God for RRMS. Since my first attack in February, I've had 2 further relapses. I'm now living with permanent symptoms. It's not fun. But I can honestly say that our health service have been there for me every step of the way, and have been absolutely incredible, despite being absolutely up to their eyeballs and having many other things going on. I was diagnosed really rather swiftly, and I've had support throughout. When I reported to my MS nurse that I'd had a relapse and that it got more severe, despite my doctor having a patient list that was frightening and not having any appointments for up to 3-4 months, I was seen within 7 to 10 days. And shortly thereafter, in front of the MRI and everything else, they've been incredible. Obviously, the point of me bringing this up isn't just to bring awareness and attention, but also it's kind of an important day today. As I'm sure many people are aware, today's polling day. I'm about to head to the polling station in just a moment. I'm not going to sit here and tell anyone who and what to vote for. However, I will say, get off your ass and vote. It's incredibly important. It affects you, and it affects everyone around you, and it certainly affects people who work in public services. Personally, I obviously have my own agenda and intentions when it comes to voting. I absolutely believe in safeguarding our NHS, both for the respect that I hold for them before and after my diagnosis, but certainly during, and certainly for my ongoing care. To put it into perspective, the reason I'm going to the polling station so early today is because immediately after I have to drive all the way to London in order to start my first treatment. I've now progressed into what's called highly active RRMS, which isn't great, certainly not within my first couple of months of diagnosis. It means the disease is getting worse and I need immediate treatment. So I go down to London today to start on chemotherapy treatment. It's quite a new treatment, but it's proven to be quite effective in my type of MS, so I'm hopeful. However, this does not come cheaply, and again, I reiterate, thank God for our NHS. The total treatment is somewhere in the region of about 28 to 30 grand, and that's just by our standards. If you compare it to American standards, it's more like $70,000, which is insane, especially considering it's 2-week-long courses over 2 months. It's frightening, taking into account then things like cost of MRIs and blood tests, of which I've had at least 100 or so by this point. I can't even imagine what the cost would be if we were on a private healthcare system, and I don't want to. It's incredibly important for us to keep our health system, which is one of the most precious things that we have in this country, and the amazing people who work within it. We need to safeguard their jobs and safeguard the public interest. It's not within anyone's interest, not the public, and certainly not the public servants, to allow any more of the NHS to fall into private hands than it already has. Companies like Virgin taking out huge chunks of NHS services and services being forced to be tendered up to private interests is just something that shouldn't be happening in this country, and so it's certainly something I don't want to see more of. I would be in 50 grams worth of debt by this point, at least, if not more, just for the fact that I've developed an illness that I had no control or way of predicting. Does that mean that I deserve to be unable to work or contribute to society? I mean, I certainly don't think so. This disease is debilitating if left untreated. I would almost certainly, considering the progression of my disease so far, end up severely disabled and unable to contribute to society. Surely, at least in my own personal viewpoint, it is better to be able to have treatment, have that sort of point of access, and be able to not have to worry from that perspective that you can be treated and you can get well, and ultimately be able to then go back and contribute to society rather than being a burden on my family and on the state. It's my own viewpoint anyway. So a long and winding video, but in short, get off your ass and vote. It's very, very, very important. And just to add to that as well, read the goddamn manifesto of the party you're intending to vote for, if not all of them. Make sure that they are someone that you agree with and you agree with their policies, and vote using your conscience and your brain. Alright, thank you.